Everywhere we turn, his power confronts us. He's a curse.
He's a messiah.
Fear is the mind killer! I will face my fear! I will let it pass through me!
I think probably the most accurate adaptation of Dune is the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries, and that's got its problems too. I particularly do not like the actor they chose for Paul. In fact, I think the cast, for the most part, in the Dune miniseries is pretty weak in comparison to the other versions, with one very, very notable exception, and that is Baron Harkonnen. Baron Harkonnen is, I think this is the best iteration of him. He is so delightfully evil in this version. It almost makes the whole movie worth watching. If you like the newer Dune movies, I definitely recommend checking out the miniseries. It is a very far cry from the newer ones in terms of like production value. It's a TV series from the Sci-Fi Channel from 2001. Of course it's not going to look great. There's moments where it looks like a really good episode of Stargate, and it never gets anywhere beyond that. I think also the design of the sandworms is really good in the Dune miniseries. I think actually I like their design more than the other two on-screen versions. It just makes more sense that they would have like a mouth that would open and close and not just a permanently open one like they do in the new Dune movies. And I think the best part about that Dune miniseries is it has a sequel. They adapt Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, but of course they just call it Children of Dune. And it's 3 episodes long. They cover Dune Messiah in 1 episode, for better or for worse. But the strength of that particular miniseries is the adaptation of Children of Dune, which has a very young James McAvoy as Leto II. And he's great. I think in the book he's supposed to be like 12 years old, and James McAvoy's like clearly in his early 20s. But that's really where a lot of the more interesting stuff happens. You see Paul come back and he's like completely blind. And the way they did his blindness is really funny because they just made him wear black contact lenses instead of like, I don't know, like they could have just had him like have his eyes covered. Actually, the way they do the eyes in the Dune miniseries is really interesting. They have them wearing like these weird contact lenses, and they have a black light. So every time they're looking at the camera, there's clearly like a black light underneath the camera, and it's causing like a weird effect on their eyes. It's interesting visually, and it's a good workaround so they're not just like going frame by frame, coloring their eyes blue like they did in the original. And I think they do that in the new one as well.